So, the new generation of hip hop, they like to wear skinny clothes, color their hair. They blurring the gender lines. So the 80s babies, old heads like to say. But I'm going to tell you, these young generation ain't nothing to be fucked up with. And y'all is taking their appearance for that they're soft or they not real. And I have an opinion on that. Like, share, subscribe to this channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a negative like, leave a negative comment. I don't care. Just leave a comment, please. It'll help me with the algorithm. Let's get into it. I'm an 80s baby. But I'm a different type of 80s baby. I like to see people express themselves. I like to see how people take stuff and run with it further. So if you look at hip hop, you got the 80s, then you got the 90s, you got the 2000s, and you got the new generation. Every generation got something to say about their generation. Every generation think their generation is the best generation. Everybody got something to critique about the next generation, whether it's past, present, or whatever. But I think what happened was we put so much emphasis on the generation before this generation in hip hop as to being real, as to being authentic, as to being talking about what you rap about. I think that shit has had a very big influence on this younger generation. Because when you look at this younger generation, our generation, the generation before this generation, or generation, the 80s babies, we felt like if you was a gangster, you had to look a certain way. You had to act a certain way. You had to walk a certain kind of way. You had to dress a certain kind of way. You had to talk a certain kind of way. But what we got to realize is your time is gone. 80s babies, 90s babies, 2000s, y'all, well, maybe 2000, you millennials, it's y'all time. But our time is gone. Our time is gone. It's these young boys' time now, if we looking at it as far as like the ones that's doing the stuff that the street niggas was doing previous to them. It's a new generation. It's a new day. They are different, right? They and it's they right. It is their time. They can carry this baton the way that they choose to carry this baton. What? You gonna jump off the porch? Your old ass gonna jump off the porch and teach and show them how to do it? They gonna kill your old ass right out there in the middle of the street. So it's not your fight. You done had your time. You done retired to the city, or you done retired to where you got bricks, and you really ain't got to deal with them like that. You can just front your shit down to them or whatever through somebody that you trust, or you totally out the game anyways. But it's not your fight. It's not your say. That is daytime. It's daytime to carry it on. And really, what happened was, them boys is as gangster and as street as y'all was. Actually, I ain't gonna say they more gangster. I ain't gonna judge like that, but I'm gonna say them boys is just as gangster as y'all was. So if you're thinking that guy with the red hair, with the pink hair, with the pink clothes on, with the skirt on, ain't gonna punch your motherfucking clock. If you think he ain't on motherfucking demon time, then you sadly motherfucking mistaken. You feel me? And that's the problem a lot of you old motherfuckers make. Stop underestimating these young people. It is partly your fault. This is the culture that we pushed before them, and now they are taking it and run with it. And yeah, we can blame it on people, fathers being in jail. Yeah, we can blame it on single parent homes, but that's still our fault too. That's still our fault. We took ourselves by choice and some by force out of these children's lives, and they had not a stable home, so they had to go through a bunch of shit. So that shit traumatized them, so they expressing themselves, and that's the way they had to learn from various sources. Whether they learned from the streets, whether someone put itself up out of it and got out the streets, or whether some let the streets take them and turn them into their fathers, or turn them into statistics, or they killed them, whatever. But it's partly it's really a lot of our fault. Maybe it might be the social construct too, as far as like how the inner cities are designed, how they don't fund us or don't give us a lot of help. Yeah, that's partly true too. But it's also our fault too, because we honestly, as a whole, could have done better. I hate to say it. It's a lot of good parents out of here. It's a lot of parents that tried. But as a whole, we failed. As a whole, we failed. It's a lot of parents that did do good. It's a lot of single parents that did good. It's a lot of two-parent homes that stayed together and raised their children. It's a lot of two-parent homes stayed together and raised their children turned bad. But as a whole, due to the social construct and due to us as well, as far as us not holding the family dynamic together, by some of us men cheated on some of these women, by some of these women cheating on some of these men, by some of these women taking the money and not want to work it out. Some of these dudes not respecting these women. Some of these dudes, you know what I mean, want to hunch everything. All of this stuff played a factor in the family dynamic that spawned this generation that we got that don't give no fucks, that want to kill every goddamn thing, that want to kill each other for clout, that want to kill your son and make a song about it and then put it on the internet and then talk about it and then go platinum from that same goddamn song. You see what I'm saying? So we call these jits soft, and these jits proving to us that they ain't soft by killing each other. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Plus, we at some point, I can't remember exactly when that, but at some point we didn't want to hear no music from people that wasn't real. You feel me? So the storyline behind these artists became important. Did you get shot 9 times? Did your homeboy get killed? Did you sell a lot of dope? You know, all of that played a part. And especially when music got from your skill, turned from your skill to how much money you got and your image and what you have been through in the streets to solidify you as a real nigga and talking about and walking about what you talking about, that all played a part. Boom. Then here come Sosa in the dough, and JoJo in the dough, and Lil Durk and them with the dough, with the drill culture. You see what I'm saying? It don't get no streeter, realer than that. You know what I'm saying? And it just spawned out of control. That's why you got 13-year-old boys now talking about they smoking on whoever. Same little boys that growed up in the house together. Same little boys that stayed across the street from each other. Same little boys went to their 10-year-old party together. Now they 15 and they mortal enemies. And they mamas used to play spades together. Or they cousins. But since one of them live over there and one of them live over there, they don't fuck with each other. Partly that's our fault, bro. Partly that's our fault. We got to take accountability for that. We can be better. We can do better. We're going to do better. We have to do better or we ain't going to make it. That's just the be all end all. I pray that's a switch that's flip off in our minds, but I'm just addressing what I see. And I'm not absolving anybody else of blame. I'm not absolving myself of blame because I'm a street nigga too. So by the example, by the shit that I did, by the way that I live, my children, they saw that. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? And my relatives and the other kids in the hood, your children, my homeboys, they saw that. And we repped our section, but inadvertently we didn't know that we was brainwashing our children to rep our section too. So when we get up out the game or we make it out the game and we live long enough, then our children, they gonna be friends or go back and hang the same place where they growing up at. So inadvertently they gonna rep our side too. You feel what I'm saying? They gonna rep where we from too. And then boom, now it's elevated. Back when we was fighting or maybe we had a few little shootouts, now they doing all that now. And who they killing? The same little boys, my homeboys' sons, or my homeboy, or my cousins getting into it with my homeboys' sons, or my cousins getting into it with their other cousins from the other side because they growed up on the other side and they more closer with their friends than their cousins because they cousins from the way other side and they off now. I'm just saying. That shit is partly our fault. We need to take responsibility for that. We're going to try to come together and try to work and try to figure this thing out, man. Because, man, eventually, if you live long enough, you become mature and you realize, man, life is it's so precious and it's not to be taken for granted. And it's just a sad thing when you have children. You realize those are somebody's babies. You feel me? That's somebody's babies that ain't gonna no longer be here. But I ain't gonna lie, man. That shit probably our fault. Like, share, subscribe to this channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.